What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Modern Warfare 3, there has been a decent amount of complaints when it comes to hit detection, being able to land your shots, missing shots that you don't really expect, so on and so forth. But I just recently saw a video from True Game Data. I'll go ahead and leave a link to the specific video down in the description of this video right here. But man, oh man, I can't believe it took me so long to witness this because the video is a month old. Okay? But some of you guys have told me about this one. I'm like, holy crap, I cannot believe I did not witness what is actually going on. And the funny thing is that I got used to this feature within Modern Warfare 3. I've been playing it so consistently that I just don't think about it anymore. I just naturally adjusted. So it's not really a problem. But now actually seeing it, from his video with all the proof of backing it up, wow, even if I did, overcome the obstacle and learn how to actually adjust to this, it should not be incorporated in Modern Warfare 3, and it's probably one of the main reasons why a lot of people feel really off when it comes to aiming within this game. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you do enjoy what you hear today, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, we do go ahead and live stream over on Kick pretty much daily, so if you guys want to check that out as well, I have a link to that down in the description of this video. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, according to True Game Data on his video, there is something, considered strafe reticle shift within Modern Warfare 3. Basically, while you're ADS'd and you're moving left and right, your reticle bounces off the center of your screen. So when you're trying to track and you're trying to be consistent with gunfights, you're not really just fighting off recoil or recoil patterns, you're fighting off the actual reticle on your gun bouncing away from your target 24/7, something that you can't control, right? This isn't, like I said, a recoil pattern where you're just going to pull down and be able to figure out, if you need to shift a little bit to the left or shift a little to the right. No, while you're strafing, your reticle is going to shift over to the direction where you are strafing. And paired with, previous problems where, scope reticles will also shift while you're looking left and right. I'm guessing this is for realism within the game, but again, for an arcade shooter, it makes it a tad bit difficult to stay very consistent. Again, these games are based off of very fast-paced competitive gameplay. Reaction time is king. You want to be right on target, first come, first serve. You know what I'm saying? And when you add stuff like this, it takes away from variety in the game. A lot of larger scopes and a lot of different things that you would use become irrelevant because it puts you at a disadvantage. When these things are incorporated, a lot of people are just going to, hyper-focus on putting on red dots or iron sights because it will be less of an effect compared to a bigger scope that you would put on your AR, or if you want to goof off and put one on an SMG and be, goofy, whatever you're feeling, man. If you're just trying to be creative, again, it just puts you at such a huge disadvantage. But again, not even just for variety's sake, it just comes down to gameplay as well. Because even when you are down to a simple red dot, on your gun, not a large 4 times, 3 times, 2.5 times, no, just a little red dot, you still get strafe reticle shift. So every time, again, while you're strafing, it's going to shift your reticle in the direction that you're strafing, once again, bouncing it away from the target that you're shooting at. And this wouldn't be such a problem in a game that's more milsim-like, where you're probably not going to be moving when you're engaging. But in a game like Call of Duty, where strafing is literally, like, let me tell you this right now. If you don't know that strafing is extraordinarily crucial for gunfights, that needs to be number one for what you need to learn when it comes to COD. That is like, the Call of Duty Bible. That's on the first page, is understanding that strafing to avoid bullets, to avoid, shift around in gunfights, confuse the enemy. And then while you're engaging back, that is key to success in COD. If you stand still, you're an easy shot. Someone's just going to plop you down. So again, in a milsim or, attack shooter where you're going to be staying still while you're engaging with enemies, stuff like this wouldn't be too bad. But in a game like COD, where you're strafing every single gunfight, like literally every gunfight you engage in, you are going to be strafing, even if it's at long range, probably, unless you really want to line up a shot. You're probably going to be bobbing and weaving left and right because, again, you're trying to make yourself not an easy target. So in a game where it's so relevant, a feature like this realistically should not be incorporated. And I have no hate to features like this in other games. I'm a man of variety. I love all different types of games. But when I hop on COD, I look for that arcade, fast-paced shooter. And again, things like this take away that arcadiness from the game. You know, it makes it more difficult to be able to maneuver and engage in gunfights like you could back in the day, where it's snap and shoot, snap and shoot, snap and shoot with, some minor recoil that might interfere. Or, a lot of times you would have to tap fire, or even burst fire. But at the end of the day, what you looked at is what you're going to hit. If your reticle was on target, minus the servers being horrifying, you are going to get hit markers. That is just classic COD. And that's just what a lot of arcade shooters, tend to push towards. Even competitive shooters as well. Think of games like, CSGO, for example, one of the most competitive shooters out there. It's very important for these games that are made for snappy reaction times and, precision to be hyper-focused on the center of the screen and not have randomness, incorporated when it comes to, what the center of the screen is going to be. And I don't know if I'm alone on this take, but I'm also a little tired of things like bullet velocity and, not having hit scan anymore within Call of Duty multiplayer. I know they added all of this stuff in for Battle Royale, Warzone, Blackout, all of that stuff for engagements. But when it comes to 6v6, I miss it. I really just miss the classic gameplay of snap and shoot. Hit scan, you looked at your enemy, you shot your gun, it would either hit or not hit, no other factors. None of this reticle sway while you're strafing or looking around and stuff of that sort. Yeah, you had your, normal just weapon sway that would naturally happen across the board. But all of these other very fine-tuned features weren't really relevant back then, and it just felt so much low-key snappier, because even though these more recent games clearly are very snappy, they look good compared to previous games, it just doesn't have that feel. And I think this is definitely one of the main reasons on why it feels off. And again, I know that this is mostly a PC problem because, clearly aim assist does counter this just a tad bit, but not completely at all. Because once you get into ranged engagements and you're strafing, aim assist is not going to be relevant as much for you. And it's going to be a massive problem where, once again, your reticle is going to be shifting around. And, on PC, yeah, I could shift around a bit more, but I can't even imagine on an analog stick trying to control recoil, and on top of that, trying to make sure you can control your reticle from, moving away from the center of the screen while strafing. It's probably just an absolute nightmare. This is a problem for everybody across the board. And honestly, I'm very curious to see if Sledgehammer will go ahead and address it. I really am. I honestly feel like they won't. I think this is going to be something that is swept under the rug. I hope they prove me wrong on that. But I can't lie when I say I'm getting a tad bit worried. I know that they are, I think they're still on their break right now. So, I'm not expecting anything crazy. But even when it comes down to the experimental playlist, we haven't even seen a second wave of anything being done. We don't know what, is going on when it comes to the red outlines on players. We have no word. They made it extraordinarily complex to even talk about, the experimental playlist. You had to go through a whole website or something like that to even, put through your vote. So, it was pretty much irrelevant to the mass majority of players. People just hopped in to try it out, and that's it. I don't know. I guess we'll see how they handle more core features, but I definitely think that this is one of them they should focus on. And if they do nail this, that would help the feeling of this game tremendously for a lot of players across the board. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comment section and let me know what your opinion is about this overall topic here. And of course, make sure you check out True Game Data's video. Again, I have a link to that down in the description of this video. It is a really good watch. It's 28 minutes long, but seriously, every last bit of it is worth your time. And it's really going to showcase a lot that's wrong here. And honestly, I think it's going to open your guys' eyes when, because again, I see a lot of people complain about either missing shots or, blaming on connection or, again, being manipulated. But honestly, I feel like this is a massive culprit when it comes to inconsistent gunfights. Having this just unnatural scope sway while you're trying to be in engagements. And again, it's due to strafing, a core feature that pretty much everybody does because it's crucial in COD. It's a bit strange, and I think it's affecting how a lot of people feel in this game. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified for more content just like this. We try to post daily here. Well, actually, no, we don't try. We do post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time, mostly about Modern Warfare 3. But, when X-Define drops, we might go ahead and discuss that a bit more. I've been really waiting for that game. I feel like a lot of people's interest has fallen off for that title. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments as well. But, I'm still there. I'm really excited to give that game another try. No skill-based matchmaking, so, can't go wrong with that. But Of course, subscribe, make sure you're notified for all that stuff, and last but not least, we do stream over on Kick as well, pretty much daily. That usually starts around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got a link to that as well down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.